Hello everyone, warm welcome to Testbook Super Coaching Regulatory Bodies YouTube channel. My name is Madhav. I welcome you all in a very important and a splendid session where we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is NPA. As you all know, NPA stands for non-performing asset. And today we will be discussing what is NPA, how a loan is termed as NPA, and the moment loan is termed as NPA, what all steps are taken by the government, bank and RBI in the same context. So before I start the discussion, may I have a reply in the comment section that I'm audible, visible, everything is fine. We are good to go so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. Do reply in the comment section, please. Am I audible, visible, everything is fine? Okay, thank you. So the first point from where I'll start my discussion with you all is, that is, so what do you understand by the term NPA? That is non-performing asset. I know many of you are aware of the point that non-performing asset basically means the loans which are not performing. I will be discussing it in much detail. But before I start my discussion in much detail, I have a question for you all. The question is, sir, on one side you are using a word loan and on the other side you are using a term that is asset. How these two terms are related? So let me make this point clear to you. Whenever we talk about a bank, let's suppose there is a bank named SBI. When SBI borrow or when SBI receives deposits from the public, SBI is liable to pay rate of interest on the deposits. SBI is liable to pay rate of interest on the deposits, and the same deposits are provided on loan against which bank will be earning lending rates. Against which bank will be earning lending rates. Now, in case of bank, please pay attention. In case of bank, the deposit will be termed as bank's liabilities. Why I'm using the word liabilities? Because bank is liable to pay back these deposits in near future. And on the other side, the loan given by the bank will be considered as bank's asset. What is an asset, sir? Anything which can be converted into cash, that is termed as asset in a very simple terms. But if I make this point more clear to you in two forms, first is asset is something which fetch you with return. So loan given by the bank provides returns to the bank. So that is the reason bank term it as an asset. Second is, whenever you borrow a loan, in general, you will be mortgaging your asset as a security to the bank, and if in near future you are not in a position to pay back the loan, then what bank will do? Bank will sell those assets in order to recover its funds. Bank will sell those assets in order to recover the funds. So in that particular scenario, we can use the term asset for loan because it is something which is fetching return to the bank. First point. Second is, against loan, bank receives the security which becomes the bank's asset, and bank can sell it in near future to recover its funds. So in that two manner, we can call loan as an asset, but the most appropriate one is the first one, that anything which fetches with return is our asset. So loan fetch bank with return, and that is the reason it is termed as bank's asset. Got it? Now, so first thing is clear, that bank providing loan, and that loan is termed as bank's asset. So bank, whenever bank will be maintaining its balance sheet, in the bank's balance sheet, loan will be written, or the lending done by the bank will be mentioned on the asset side. It will be mentioned on the asset side. Got it? Now, what is non-performing asset? Before I jump to the term non-performing asset, I would like to categorize bank's asset. So let's try to categorize bank's asset. I'm talking about which assets? Sir, I'm talking about the loan given by the bank. We can call it as bank's financial asset. We can call it bank's financial asset. as well as we can call it as bank's lending asset, the amount which has been lended by the bank. Now, please pay attention. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very important. So let's suppose, what is the date today, guys? What is the date today? Today it is 17th of September. Yes, today it is 17th of September. Let's suppose on 17th of September, Madhav approaches to the bank and borrows the loan. Madhav approaches to the bank and borrows the loan. So the moment Madhav approaches to the bank and borrow the loans, let's say I have approached to the bank today and I have received the loan today itself, and I have received a loan of, let's say, 10 lakh rupees. The moment this lending is done by the bank, the very next second, that particular loan will be termed as bank's asset. That will be termed as bank's asset. And it is basically termed as what? So it is basically termed as performing asset, or we call it as standard asset. So what is a standard asset? So standard asset is something which fetch you with return. Standard asset is something, or standard asset is a type of loan against which bank is receiving the return. Bank is receiving the return, or bank is expecting the return, or bank is expecting the return. That will be termed as what? So that will be termed as bank's standard asset. Let's say the loan was borrowed to purchase a car, and I'm calling it as a car loan. The moment I have borrowed a loan, I will be liable to pay the installment. And now I will be liable to pay the installment, let's say, exactly after 1 month. So my first installment is due on 17th of October 2024. My first installment is due on 17th of October 2024. On 17th of October, I am supposed to pay the first installment, and I have paid the first installment. The moment I have paid the first installment, bank will consider the same loan as standard asset. Why standard asset? Because earlier, the moment bank has lended the loan, bank was expecting the return, and now bank is actually receiving the return. So bank will term it as what? Bank will term it as standard asset only. Now, the next is your next installment. Your next installment is now due on 17th of November 2024. 17th of November 2024, second installment. And if you do not pay the second installment, I say not paid, then in that particular case, this asset will remain in the same category, that is standard asset only, because still bank is expecting the return. But there is one more categorization which is done, and that categorization is known as special markup asset, SMA 0.0. SMA 0.0. So what is this SMA 0.0? It means the type of loan in which installment is due for 0 to 30 days. If your installment is due for 0 to 30 days, so first 0 to 30 days, that particular account will be termed as special markup account, or it can be termed as special markup asset. Why this introduction? Earlier the term SMA was not there. This term was introduced, I'll not say recently, but it was introduced after the number of increase in NPA cases in the country, and it is basically introduced to bring banks' attention towards the loans which have been given over the period of time. So special markup asset 0 means the loan is due for 0 to 30 days. That means installment is due for 0 to 30 days. What will happen next? Please pay attention. What will happen next? Now, if I move ahead, If I move ahead, now my next installment is going to be due on what date? So next installment is going to be due on 17th of December 2024. Technically, this is my third installment and I have not paid the second installment, and now it is the time to pay the third installment. What can happen? So first is customer can come back, customer reach back to the bank, and say, sir, I'm really very sorry, I was not able to pay the previous installment, I'm sorry for that. Bank will say, no worries, pay penalty for not paying the last installment, then pay the previous installment, that is your second installment, and pay the third installment, and your account will be again termed as standard asset only, and from today onwards it will be again marked as special markup asset 0, special markup asset 0.0. Now let's suppose the borrower do not pay the third installment. The moment borrower has not paid the third installment, category will still be standard asset. But this loan account will be marked as what? Sir, it will be marked as special markup account 1. Special markup account 1, where your installment is due for 31 to 60 days. This is a high time. Now bank will try its level best to reach to the customer in order to avoid the loan to be declared as NPA. Now in that particular case, bank will be trying its level best to reach to the customer and try to convince the customer to pay back the installment. Now comes the next installment, and the next installment is due on 17th of January. I hope you can see this. Yes, 17th of January 2024. Technically, it is your fourth installment, and if you are paying the third installment, then the same procedure. What is the procedure? You will be paying the penalty plus all the previous installments, that is second plus third, that is the second plus third plus fourth installment, and loan will be continuing as a special markup account 0. But what if you do not pay? What if you do not pay? So not paid, technically if you have not paid this installment, that means if you have not paid this installment, then what does it mean? It means the loan has been included. The loan has been included in a situation where we can call it as NPA. I have missed one point over here. Since 17th November to 17th of December, it will be termed as special markup account 1, that is 31 to 60 days. Bank is trying its level best. And now in this scenario, it will be termed as special markup account second. In this scenario, it will be termed as special markup account second, where your installment is due for 61 to 90 days. And if you have not paid the installment for 90 days, that means no principal, no interest. I repeat, no principal or no interest or both is paid for 90 days, or both not paid for 90 days, then the loan will be categorized as what? So loan will be categorized as NPA. Loan will be categorized as NPA, that is non-performing asset. Loan will be categorized as NPA, that is non-performing asset. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear till this point? If it is clear, just give me yes. If it is clear, just give me yes, sir. So remember, special markup account, I can write this again for you to avoid confusion. Let's suppose, as per my example, on 17th of October, you have paid the last installment, that is second installment, which was paid. Then after this loan will be termed as SMA, special markup account 0. Then 17th of November 2024, if third installment is not paid, then what will be the condition, sir? It will be termed as SMA, special markup account 1, where installment is due for more than 31 days. Till 60 days, it will be special markup account 1. And if on 31st December 2024, you have not paid your fourth installment technically, if not paid, then it will be termed as what? It will be termed as special markup account 2.0, that is 61 to 90 days. And after 90 days, if you have not paid the installment on 17th of January 2024, then your loan will be declared as NPA if installment fifth not paid. If installment fifth is not paid, I'm considering that second installment is paid, whatever is the scenario. If you check this point very carefully, if you do not pay or the last installment is paid on or before 90 days, then after 90 days, this loan will be declared as what? NPA in general cases. It will be declared as NPA in general cases. Now, once the loan is declared as NPA, then what will happen? So once the loan is declared as NPA, then loan will be subcategorized. So loan was declared as NPA on 17th of January 2024. Now for next, I would say up to 12 months. So after the loan is declared as NPA and till next 12 months, the loan will be in the category of substandard asset. It will be in the category of substandard asset up to 12 months. And if no installment is paid for 12 months, then after 12 months of NPA declaration, it will be termed as doubtful asset. Now the loan will remain in the category of doubtful asset. Loan will remain in the category of doubtful asset for minimum 12 months. Loan will remain in the category of doubtful asset for minimum 12 months, and it can maintain or it can be kept in the category of doubtful asset depending upon the internal auditors. So banks still consider the loan recoverable. So loans have been NPA for more than 12 months, but still bank is optimistic, then it will be considered as doubtful asset. And after that, once as per the internal or external auditors of the bank, when bank is in a situation to believe that recovery is not possible, then the loan will be declared as loss asset. Then the loan will be declared as what? Sir, it will be declared as loss asset. Is it clear? So this is how we further classify the NPA. So NPA has been declared. After that, for first 12 months after the NPA declaration, loan will be termed as substandard asset. After 12 months, it will be termed as doubtful asset, and it will remain in the category of doubtful asset till the time bank is optimistic that bank can recover the loan. But once bank has calculated that now recovery is not possible, then bank will declare the loan as loss asset. Now, the point is a bank will start its recovery once the loan is declared as loss asset. That's not true. Bank has a power according to the SARFAESI Act 2002. Once the loan is declared as NPA, from the very next day, bank can start the process of recovery. And once the loan is declared as loss asset, now no recovery can be done. What bank can do is bank has to bear that loss, and that is the reason it is termed as loss asset. Got it, guys? All these points are clear? If all these points are clear, just give me yes, sir. Why we say non-performing asset? Why we use word asset with respect to loan? That is clear. Second is how we categorize the bank's asset. Standard asset. After standard asset, we declare the loan as NPA. Once it is declared as NPA, then it is further categorized as substandard asset, doubtful asset, and loss asset. There is one more point. One is gross NPA. This is the total NPA of the bank, gross NPA. This is the total NPA of the bank, but total NPA of the bank is not bank's net NPA. The reason is bank maintain what? Provisions. Bank maintain provisioning. So if I exclude the provisioning done by the bank, if I exclude the credit provisioning, done by the bank, then we calculate the term that is net NPA. Now the question is, so what do you understand by the word credit provisioning? A very important concept which you must understand. Credit provisioning basically means the calculation. Credit provisioning is basically the calculation done by the bank or the company regarding to its credit losses as a percentage of its average earning asset. So credit provisioning is done. So credit provisioning basically means bank maintain reserves to counter NPA losses. So in order to counter the NPA losses or in order to counter the credit risk, bank maintains certain reserves, and those reserves which are maintained by the bank, it is termed as credit provisioning, and credit provisioning is done as per asset category. That means it is a situation, if I take a very simple example with you, let's suppose there is an individual, the individual got married. Let's say the individual name is Ram. He got married, and after his marriage, he was, I would say, blessed with a baby boy. And the day he was blessed with a baby boy, in that particular scenario, he was very worried. Everyone was congratulating him, but he was worried. One of his friend asked him, "Why are you worried, my friend? You should be happy because you are blessed with a baby boy." He replied, "I'm happy that I'm blessed with a baby boy, but what if my baby boy, or what will be the future of my baby boy? What should I do?" His friend recommended him, "Why not you keep some reserves which you can use at the time when he will be 21 or 23 years of age. If he can do something on his own, it's fine. Otherwise, you can use that amount which you are reserving today in order to help him or support him to start a new business." Got it? So I finalized that, okay, what I'll do is I'll maintain 1 crore rupees as a reserve from day one. Then one of the other friend came to Ram and he said, "Why are you maintaining 1 CR today? Rather than use that 1 CR in your business and grow your business, you should maintain the reserves as per your child character. Today your child is born. Why you're worried about him today? Let's maintain a reserve of only 10 lakhs today." Then he will go to school. The moment he will enter into the school, we'll able to understand how good he is in studies. If he is very good in studies, then 10 lakh is more than sufficient for him, because that amount is growing and you can use that amount to send him to an MBA college maybe. And if he's not doing good in the school, then we can increase the reserve. So that means the moment asset changes its character from standard asset to substandard asset, substandard to doubtful, doubtful to loss asset, bank increases the reserves accordingly. Rather than maintaining the reserves 100% from day one, which is a kind of loss to the bank, bank can use those funds to earn profit today. And on the other side, if bank is maintaining 0% reserves today, what will happen at the time of loss? So it's better. Bank should maintain the reserves as per the asset characters. So if the bank's loan is in standard asset, maintain very basic reserve of up to 1%. The moment loan turns into substandard asset, increase your reserves to 15 to 25%. If it is now declared as doubtful asset, increase your reserves from 25 to 40%, and over the period of time 100%. And once the loan is about to be declared as loss asset, before that you should maintain a reserve of 100% in order to counter the NPA losses. This is how banks, they maintain the provisioning. This is how the banks, they maintain the provisioning. There is one more term which I would like to discuss with you, that is stressed asset. So whenever someone asks me, what is the stressed asset? So stressed asset of the bank is basically not the gross NPA, but the net NPA. But the net NPA. Why net NPA? Because bank has maintained the provisioning, and after the provisioning, the actual loss which bank is going to face, it is the net NPA. So stressed asset, whenever we calculate the asset which is a stress on bank's balance sheet, which is a stressed on bank's balance sheet, will include what? So it will include your NPA wala part. It will include your NPA wala part. But what NPA wala part? Then my answer would be that is net NPA. Along with net NPA, we will be including two more terms. The first term we have, that is known as restructured loan. So what is this restructured loan or restructured asset? Try to understand this point. Let's suppose I have borrowed a loan from a bank and I have not paid my first 3 installments. Loan was declared as NPA. Then after 6 months, loan has been declared as NPA and right now my loan is in the category of substandard asset. I reach to the bank and I say, hello bank. Bank asked me, who are you? I say, Madhav. I borrowed a loan to purchase a car from you. Bank said, where were you from last 6 months? We have classified your loan as NPA. I said, I'm really very sorry. My business was not doing well. That was the reason I was not in a position to pay back the loan. But now I'm ready to pay it back. So one is I can pay the entire pending amount along with the penalty and continue my loan as it is. On the other side, what I would say, I would come to the bank, or maybe bank comes to me and say, where is your loan EMI? You are not paying it. I said, sir, mere paas paisa nahi. I don't have the funds. What we can do is, you help me, I'll help you. Means I ask bank, please increase my loan tenor, increase the time period of my loan so that my EMI decreases, and I request you to decrease my lending rate as well so that my installment decreases and I can try to pay the decreased installment. So when loan characteristics are changed within the loan tenor, which include tenor of the loan changes or lending rate is revised by the bank so that the borrower paybacks the loan, that is known as restructured loan. That is also a stress on the bank because bank will not be earning the return which bank was expecting from the loan when it was given. Because bank was expecting a return of, let's say, 10%, but now the new interest is only 8%. So it will be bank's stress asset. Last but not the least is return of asset, or we call it as write-off asset. What is write-off asset? So write-off asset basically means bank is not only providing loan, bank is involved in n number of operations, and if bank is involved in n number of operations, bank may be earning profits from some other areas. So when bank uses its profit to compensate the loss asset, that loss asset will vanish away. That will be removed from the bank's balance sheet, but actually that loan has not recovered. That is the bank's profit which has been used to remove that loss asset from the balance sheet, and that process is known as writing off asset. I'll give you an example. My father gave me 500 rupees and he asked me, Madhav, go and purchase some commodities from the market. I purchased the commodities and the total spending was 200. So my father, the moment I entered back home, he said, have you purchased the commodity? I said, take it, father. He said, thank you. Then he asked me, give me the balance. The moment I checked my pocket, there was supposed to be 300 rupees in my pocket, but actually there were 200. 100 rupees was dropped by me in the market itself. Now father is standing in front of me and I'm very afraid. What I said, father, take 200 and 100 rupees is in my wallet. So I took out my wallet, and in my wallet, I have an internal pocket. In that internal pocket where I was maintaining my emergency funds, from those emergency funds, I have given 100 rupees back to my father. My father was happy because his funds were recovered. But actually the loss is overcome. No, sir. Actually, there is a loss which has been bared. So that inner pocket which I used to overcome that loss of 100 rupees which I dropped in the market was my profit. And from the profit, I have compensated the loss asset in the balance sheet. But actually, the loss is not compensated. It is actually the loss is not recovered. It is still a loss which is not visible in the balance sheet because I have removed it, and that amount which bank uses to fulfill or to overcome or to remove loss asset from the balance sheet with the help of its reserves, with the help of its profit, is known as write-off asset, and write-off asset is also a stressed asset of the bank. It is also a stressed asset of the bank. Is it clear? So this is how we define non-performing assets. Now, you may be having n number of loans which you borrow. So loan can be termed as NPA when no installment is paid for 90 days in general. No installment is paid for 90 days in general. But if I talk about your current account, if your current account, that is overdraft account or cash credit account, remains out of order for 90 days, that means you have not paid any interest in last 90 days, then also your current account overdraft facility will be termed as NPA. Your bills, they remain overdue. For example, you have issued a commercial bill to an individual and it remains, that commercial bill remains what? Sir, it remains overdue. It remains overdue for 90 days. That means no payment is done for 90 days. Then also it will be termed as what? It will be termed as NPA. In case of borrowing, which is done for the cultivation of crop. If you have borrowed a loan for the cultivation of crop, then if it is a short-term crop, the crop with harvesting period up to 12 months, yes or no? Any idea, guys? Whenever we talk about crops, we classify the crops into two categories on the basis of their harvesting period. On the basis of their harvesting period, how we classify them as short-term crops and long-term crops. So it is basically on the basis of their harvesting period. So the difference is, short-term crops are those crops which are harvested within a span of 12 months. For example, we have baby corn, carrot, we have millets, we have green vegetables. For that matter, we have oil seeds in some cases. So all those crops which are harvested within a span of 12 months, they are termed as short-term crop. And if your loan remain inoperative, that means you have not paid any installment, for 2 crop seasons. Let's suppose your crop season is 6 months, and if you have not paid any installments for 12 months, then in that particular case, your loan will be declared as NPA. So 90 days wala formula is not applicable on borrowing which is done for crop cultivation. In case of crop cultivation, there is a standard, that is 2 crop seasons. If you have not paid any installment or principal or interest or both for 2 crop seasons, then it will be declared as NPA. And in case of long-term crops, if you have not paid any installment for 1 crop season, then after 1 crop season, it will be termed as NPA. For example, sugarcane. Where I take the season is of, let's say, 18 months, and if you have not paid any installment for 18 months, then after 18 months, unlike 90 days, then after 18 months, that loan will be termed as NPA. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? If it is clear, just give me yes, sir, so that we can move ahead. So these are the conditions which define the NPA. Then what is substandard asset, what is doubtful asset, what is loss asset, what is credit provisioning, and what are the features of performing and non-performing assets, I have discussed already with you. I hope you must have enjoyed the discussion on non-performing asset. If you want to discuss all these topics in much detail, in context that you want to know what is the current NPA structure in India, what amount of loans are still categorized as NPA for the entire banking sector, for the financial institutes, for the NBFCs, then you need to join our batch, which is RBI Grade B 2025 Lakshya batch. Use the code MADHAV. The moment you use this code MADHAV for Lakshya batch, you can enroll yourself in the Lakshya batch at maximum discount. You can download the PDF from my Telegram channel. Hope you must have enjoyed. We'll catch you at 9 p.m. where we will be discussing more on the same, that is NPA, but on Testbook application. So do join with me on Testbook application today at 9 p.m. in the free masterclass, where I will be discussing more on the NPAs at 9 p.m. Thank you so much. Good luck. God bless you.